Hello everyone and welcome back to the world beyond my shell. This episode will be different. There is an issue that I'm facing in my day-to-day life regarding the work that I do for a living. I have a 9 to 5 job, which many of you might also have. And I am at a point where I feel so burnt out that I just have to let it out and share my thoughts about it. I believe I'm not the only one here who has this experience, so come with me on this journey and let's dive into the fiery pit of our working culture. While I share my thoughts about the topic, I've put some resource gathering footage on the screen. Talking about it while also playing the game would be a little too much, so I recorded the gameplay and the audio separately. And without further ado, let's jump into it. So, let's talk about burnout. Not from YouTube or the game, of course, as I just started making videos. I still really enjoy them and they are still really exciting for me. I mean burnout from the jobs. I'm pretty sure that many of you also know the feeling that the only way to get through the day from 9 to 5 is to brute force yourself through it and at least get the minimum done while you're at it. But you don't have a connection with the things that you are actually doing throughout the day. You are just there, wishing to be somewhere else. And the value of the work is just so distant. Of course, it gives a salary, but there is no real sense of a common goal that we are working towards together. We all have our own individual interests, which have nothing to do with what we are actually doing. And the only thing that brings us together is that we have to sell our time and energy in order to get that salary. And don't get me wrong, I have nothing against taking part and providing value to the society. But I claim that the way we work is not made for humans, but it's made for robots. When we start the day, we have to be like robots, with an occasional relief from time to time. We are trying to keep the system alive because we are dependent on it. But other than survival and convenience, the system has lost its meaning. In order to keep it alive and functional, we sacrifice so much more than it seems. First, the obvious ones are time and energy. Every weekday, we sell away the part where we are the most energized. And by the time we get home, we already need some form of recovery. However, that recovery is not so simple. I remember a lot of times when I got home, feeling completely drained and emotionally numb. And no matter what I tried to do to replenish myself, I was already in a really dark place. With the stress of the day, the sense of not belonging there, the lack of community, and the lack of seeing a different possibility, it wasn't replenishment, it was vegetation. Eventually, as this process gets repeated more and more, the emotional numbness and the lack of motivation becomes the norm. And the longer we spiral down, the harder it is to get out of this loop. It's not just the jobs though. Education, society's expectations, the way our environments are built, and the constant digital noise, they all push us towards isolation. We can live stacked on top of each other in massive apartment blocks, completely surrounded by people, and yet we've never felt more disconnected. The way we live has something fundamentally toxic about it. This begs the question, how do we make a change? When we are already burnt out from this way of living, and we struggle day by day even just to get the minimum accomplished, how could we make a meaningful change? The answer to this question lies within us. Because to make a change around us, first, we have to change something within ourselves. And you are the only one who truly knows what that change could be for you. For me, the most memorable turning point came to life with the decision to get serious about inner work. It started as a daily meditation routine. I was already really interested in this before, but I just couldn't commit myself to practicing for more than a few days. But this time I got so frustrated with the experience of being completely stuck in certain areas of my life that this frustration pushed me through the edge. So, after really getting down to it, within a few months, some opportunities and changes started to present themselves. I signed up for a meditation retreat and got a job opportunity in a city that I never would have thought of moving to. But I went along anyway, and I'm still living in Budapest. Eventually, some years down the line, I got into therapy, both one on one and group therapy, like psychodrama or bodywork. Every step of the way opened a new door and closed an old one behind me. Even just being here, available on YouTube, is such a huge progress for me. You don't know how much of a hermit I am in real life. So, cracking my shell open and stepping out of my hermit cave is such a testament that it is possible to change and transform the fear that you are struggling with. And still, after 3 years of retreats and 5 years of therapy, there are still massive blocks in me that I haven't been able to crack, move through, and integrate. Even after more than 8 years of experience on this path, only counting from the day I really committed, I can still get surprised by how dense and rigid some of these blocks can be, and how difficult it is to make any noticeable progress with them. The conditioning goes really deep. This is how we get back to the original topic of burnout. Because in spite of all the progress I made, all the opening up, I'm still running in the hamster wheel. Yeah, it's tough. It's really tough. And don't get me wrong, even in that field, I went through a lot of changes. At one time, I even quit my only known profession completely to experience and try on a few other things. But my illusions also came with me, so I spiraled down from being a senior front-end developer into working a few weeks at McDonald's. This was the fall that broke my illusions about work by hitting the floor with my head. Now I'm back at my original profession in a better place than I was before. But still, I'm running in the hamster wheel. In fact, I've been feeling the weight of this hamster wheel so much more in these past few weeks. I dedicated a lot of my paid time off to my inner work and those therapy groups. I really love them. I'm still passionate about them, but they are definitely not about chill out and relaxation. Not to mention that here in Hungary, we have a few working Saturdays every year, which are mandatory time off at our company. Plus, this year we have to save up 7 days of time off to be continuously free on the winter holidays. So at this point, I'm so burnt out that the feeling I described earlier, like being completely drained and emotionally numb, and just completely overwhelmed, has become my daily reality all over again. The only solution I found was to take unpaid leave and get away from it all for 2 weeks. I just couldn't keep going anymore. I had too much of this toxic rush. I'm getting towards the end of my sharing here. My intention was definitely not to discourage you. It is possible to transform and integrate the fear that's blocking us from becoming who we truly are. Inner work is both a miracle and a long journey that gives you a lot of pills that are really hard to swallow. And it's okay to feel lost and defeated as you face your hardships. It's not expected of you to get things moving right away. It's okay to fall when the challenge was too hard, And it's okay to celebrate when you do make a leap forward. We are all playing this game of life together, with all the glories and all the hardships that it has in store for us. My point here is to remind us all that even in the darkest of times, there is always a spark of light that can guide us one little step at a time. Connect to that spark and find that one step. We don't need to see the whole way. Just make that one step, no matter how little it is. It will open up the door towards the next one and the next one. During those 2 weeks, while I'm trying to rejoin the land of the living, I will keep this reminder in my heart as well. Thank you for being here and listening to my sharing. And I hope that you can take something away from this for your own journey as well. This was all for now. Thanks again, and let's get back to the world of Minecraft. So, welcome back. I hope you enjoyed my little rant about our working culture. Please feel free to write a comment about your experience in the topic. And of course, many of the topics that I touched upon could have their own sharing, but I didn't want to go and dive that deep. It was just to start this sharing and say what's on my mind about it, because I feel at a dark place right now. But there is always one more step to take. So coming back to the world, I had a lot of mining sessions, and as you can see, I am wearing full diamond gear, well, almost full. Only a few tools are left. I have normal food finally. I've been eating low saturation bread for a lot of time. And I think it's almost time to get down to the nether, which would be a fitting continuation of this episode. After talking about burnout, what's better to do than get straight down to hell? So I hope you enjoyed this episode and see you next time. Bye.